I know what you mean though, it's like, and it's just romantic and yeah, I love it.
When I see the world, I see people climbing a mountain. Some are more eager and ambitious than others, and they take the fastest, but sometimes more treacherous route. Some are excellent planners. They know exactly which path to take, where to turn, where to stop, and how long it will take to get to their destination, but they tend to be more vulnerable when things happen unexpectedly. Some are more adventurous. They like to take the scenic route, often an unbeaten path, and they see the views not everyone gets to see. They may take longer, but they certainly see more. And what about me? What type of a climber was I? I've always been a motivated, driven, and for the most part, a well-planned one. I've always had big dreams. I wanted to be someone who is needed in this world. I wanted to make my life count. But there was one prayer that stuck with me for a long time, unanswered. I knew that God had a plan for me, and I had to let go of my ego and my personal ambitions. It was hard letting go of something I've been building on for so long and that I've held on to so tight. Although I prayed to Him to allow me to faithfully follow His plan for me, I was uncertain. I was scared. In March of 2018, I made the decision to get off this path for a bit and see what other side roads have to offer. After all, I wanted my stories to define me as a person, not a list of things on my resume. And I've been curious to see what the world has in store for me. I wanted to find my place in it. A year later, on March 4th, 2019, there I was at the Halifax airport, having spent that entire morning worrying about my flight getting cancelled because there was a big snowstorm that day. I got on the plane feeling grateful and relieved. I felt that God was looking after me. So many things happened in the next 40 days to follow.
Have a good trip.
Cheers.
The girl, the climber who was taking a break, would not have imagined how much she would change, how many angels would touch her soul, and how much closer she would get to God. I left for Europe without much planning. I just had a feeling that everything will be just fine, and I think it was God who gave me the inner peace. Instead of having a detailed itinerary of where to go and where to eat, I just had a few bucket list items that I distantly hoped for. I hoped to have a professional photo shoot in a charming village. I hoped to play music with other people and maybe even try busking. I hoped to spend some time in a small town that is peaceful and calm and not so touristy. Instead of planning, I dreamt. I dreamt of the vibrant colors of Spain that was waiting for me. I dreamt of the rolling hills glowing in gold under the Tuscan sun. I dreamt of myself sitting on a train in deep introspection and putting down visions and thoughts onto my journal. I dreamt of people who I will become friends with. And I dreamt of the beautiful old churches. Churches. I did see so many beautiful churches. However, despite their beauty, grandeur, and magnificence, I found God not inside the church but outside. I found God in the people I met. I found Him in the kindness they showed me.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
We are in Porta Nuova. Not in Milan yet.
Oh, not right.
But in 20 minutes we will be Milan.
Yes. What's the plan for today?
I found Him in the memories we shared. I found Him when I connected with those people, heart to heart, soul to soul.
Gelato, everyone. I am in Marseille.
And I realized it would be a very lonely journey to have to climb the mountain alone, trying to be the fastest one to get to the top, being anxious when I'm behind and when others are ahead of me.
안녕하세요. 저는 지금
I thought I would rather climb the mountain with my loved ones, not in a rush, but chatting and laughing with them, looking around and taking in the views around us. I wanted to share and cherish those special moments.
and we are going on a little roadie.
I found God in nature. I found Him in the humble wave of branches. And I found Him in the breeze that carried stories of new blooms, songs of birds, and crashing of waves. I found His glory through Antoni Gaudi's reflection of nature in his work. I found Him in the light shining through the stained glass window in La Sagrada Familia, and in the fluid lines and the vibrant colors of Park Güell. And I felt the emotions, the same emotions that stirred Gaudi. And I felt God's love in every part of my journey. It was liberating. I realized that I can just be me, and I didn't have to try to be someone else to impress other people. Growing up has silently pressured me to follow the rules of the adult world, but I learned that it's okay to be unapologetically me, that I didn't have to be so serious all the time. I could have fun and laugh my butt off from time to time. And I realized that what matters in the end is not how the society would think of me, but what kind of impact I would leave on this world. Feeling God's love has made me love myself the way I am, and it became the source and the definition of my self-worth. It is something that used to be based on my achievements and recognition from others, and I would often feel inadequate when I compared myself to others who are more accomplished, more successful, and more beautiful. And the love, the overflowing love, joy, and generosity inside me kept wanting to radiate outward toward those around me, not just my loved ones, but to everyone. A waitress, a bus driver, people walking by, and even the ones I found hard to love before. And I was able to see them past their outer covering. I wanted to hear their story, and I wanted to connect with their soul. This love inside me still wanted to go beyond the people around me, but to all of God's creations, the mountains, the oceans, and every living being on this earth. I've always loved nature, but it took on yet another level of meaning. Oh, and my hopes? They all came true in ways I never would have expected. From my hope of having a photo shoot, my dear friend William's mom turned out to be a professional photographer, and she captured these special moments that I will treasure forever. Here, it's not just about the photos. It encompasses her thoughtfulness and the memories we shared together. For busking, William actually tried to make it happen but couldn't, but something better happened. I had a jam session with William and his two brothers, Andrea and Alessandro, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Hey,
Hello, everyone.
what's up?
Let me introduce
And when
you
I
to
was in
Ricky.
Rome on my last night there, I made a new friend named Ricky, and we did an impromptu a cappella cover of one of my favorite songs in the locker room of our hostel.
If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, 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 you're the best part. Oh, oh, the best part. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
For my hope of visiting a small town, my new friend Miguel, who I met in Portugal, who was actually my BlaBlaCar driver but became a good friend, took me to a little village that is not known to many people, and he took me to the most beautiful wine bar on my very last day of the trip. All of these things happened without me having planned the details, and even if I tried to plan out the details, I don't think they would have turned out as beautiful and meaningful as what actually happened. We often compare life to a journey. I thought, maybe I don't have to stress out all the time about planning the right move. Maybe I can just leave it all up to God and let Him guide me, because He grants me everything I need and everything I didn't know I needed, the things beyond my expectation and imagination. All I have to do is to prepare myself to step into whatever it is that God is preparing for me, and to spread love and serve the world and the humanity the same way He loves and tends His creations. I think God answered my prayer in the best way possible, in the way I could best understand. I had always asked to God, what is the ultimate universal truth? Is it science or is it religion? I struggled to find my answer between these two. But through this time I spent with God, He showed me what the ultimate truth is. It's love.